Alrighty, guys. So this is a pre-recorded game. We're gonna go over two pre-recorded games. We matched up against Louis MT a couple of times, and unfortunately, they were like warm-up games for us, and we were playing really poorly. I would have liked to have given it a little bit of a better go, but nevertheless, there is a little bit to be gleaned from these losses, and yeah, it's a little bit of stuff to be seen from them. So this first game, excuse me, Mongol Mirror. We're gonna try to go for fast H2. He's moving all of his stuff here, and he's fast collecting gold. You can see differentiations in build orders right now, but he does have a better spawn here. Gold and Uvu protected. We figured we'd protect our Uvu and work off this back gold. If he had run straight across his base, we probably would have picked up those two sheep. Oh. When we miss a chance to kill his con there. Would have been nice, wouldn't have been end of the world or nothing, but it would have been nice. So, you see he just kind of grabbed his villagers to whatever was closest and sent them to work. And he's happy with if this even was like a Dark Age play because he can be pretty content right here. So different in build order, quite a bit of difference, but they should equal out to be about the same in terms of finishing. He's at 6 sheep, we're at 10, so about the same. I'm a little bit behind on my villager count as I had my TC a little bit different. And he ages up with only 3 villagers. So this is a pro scout play is what he's doing here. And he ages up faster than us. Because we had collected extra stuff here. On our age up extra wood. He did the most raw age up that you could do. So you can see his spread here. He's gonna get his production building out. Relatively afterwards. So this is a build to really accelerate your pro scout more than anything. So and we'll go to our vision here. I don't want to give too much away in terms of like what we could actually see. So we can see the split here. And then he's heavy on gold. He's got a lot of gold. And so I'm thinking, okay, so this is a pro scout play, and I see the stable, and it didn't register in my brain as it should have, but that's okay. Right, in my brain I'm like, oh, this is pro scout. I see this is pro scout. And I'm gonna get my eco text. I have a little bit of idle time with this villager because I was gonna send a villager out the tower here. But if he's going stables, I can't really contest that. So he's going too early horseman. So if I had a villager over here building a tower, this villager would die, and I would lose my income as well as my tower. So pretty important, especially against cav civs, to make sure you really can secure that tower drop. Going too early can be just a waste of eco. So, and then what we do kind of poorly here is we do a little bit of harass, but we don't wrap around the back here. We see that the stable's here, and we see a second stable, and we're not really reacting appropriately. And what I mean by that is, right now, we dropped double tower in the back here, based on, excuse me, on the horseman. So just some differences in our build and just playstyle and stuff. And in part, we definitely played a little bit more conservative because it's one, Louis MT, and two, it's a little bit of a warm. It was a warm up game for us, so playing a little sloppy. But so we just invested in double towers here, remember, and we are at the front of his base here. So I could have just sat here and chilled. And honestly, my second thing that comes out of here almost needs to be a con hunter over a second group of Mangandai, but it's okay. But the thing is that we just keep vision here. If I have vision right now, right? I can see what's going on, and yeah, I mean that's the big thing right now, right? Why do I need 2 towers back here? So if this was a stable, one of these was a stable, the other one would be like just going up now. That would be fine, and I would have a stable right now, and I could be pumping Horseman or Keshik, right? So this is a little variation, a little detail that's really important to note. Like if you're in this situation with like Mangandai and you're massing them, and your opponent's got double stables, you need to drop a stable, or your Mangandai are gonna have a really hard time dealing with it. Louis, this is probably, I think this is my second and third time playing him, maybe third and fourth, I don't know. Great player. You can feel the APM through the screen. He is very, very good, and you can see like his army back here is hidden. Like I can't even see this. And I should know that I'm in the danger here, right? That's why I sent my villager back, but I'm not reacting appropriately, and I still don't have like a stable or nothing up, right? And he's double production, so it's a big deal, the double production building. And that's one thing with my build here. I think that's one thing. I've been used to, excuse me. I've been going to like, I've got 8 on gold and stuff like that. So I'm used to like sending a little bit heavy on gold up to 7 on gold right after I age up. But I think instead I'll go to like 9 food, and then I think I'm going to go to like 7 or 8 on wood, and then I'll start rotating to gold. And this is a good game to really showcase that like production buildings, especially when Cav is involved, are really important that they go down. So I'm just kind of sitting around here not doing anything, and he's ready for the Mongol play, for the Mangandai play, and we do catch him a little bit on surprise here, but issue is we're an okay mass here, and we're gonna be able to kill this one. Oh, I thought we were gonna get that horseman, but issue is we don't have like this gap can get closed by horsemen very quickly, right? 1.88 versus 1.56, and you drop a movement speed arrow mixed in, and mine just finished getting used. So us coming forward as far as we did was kind of a big mistake, and we kind of knew it. So this lost value right here is huge. Even though we've got like 1 eco tech, and I think we got 2 eco techs. So we're working at a good thing right now. Like, look at the destroyed value. I have been able to pay off on this very long kite. Okay. We probably, in terms of like maybe not actual destroyed value, because these 2 are still live, we're probably really close to similar exchange value. But again, you don't really want to be trading out these early Mangandai. You really want to avoid those fights. And he's just massing horsemen here. And we're dropping a blacksmith, which I think is okay. You know, he got his +1 upgrades, which is fine. But I think, again, instead of this blacksmith, if this was a second stable, we would be in a much better spot, because as you guys will see, or you can see, my food is starting to get really heavy. My eco is in a better spot than his. Not for long, because these deer are going to start coming in, right? Once deer start coming in, we didn't scout this. I was wondering where he was getting the deer from. Army's way over here, and he's doing a great job of seeing what's going on in our base and keeping good tabs of everything. You can see his vision is kind of all over the map. It's part of it because he went pro scouts, right? And we're finally building some cav here, but again, not very good. We're chasing his con. He's bringing his other army over here, so he's doing a good job of distracting us. And honestly, from here, we probably could have just pushed straight forward. And yeah, so big thing again is just like the production buildings here. We notice here we're able to. We should have picked off this horseman here. A little bit sloppy of us not picking up these horsemen. There's at least 2 horsemen that probably could have died there. But we could have pushed his base, right? At least it pushed his side, contested these deer pickups, and been a lot more proactive with his army. So we're playing way too turtly. We're dropping a tower here because now I'm worried about like base dives. And yeah, not great. And the big thing here again is, yeah, he's quadruple stables. He's gonna be going on to all stables, or onto all horsemen. And our army is out here, right? And we haven't split it up. And that's the other thing with Mangadai, right? Versus horsemen. And I think a lot of people don't respect or appreciate enough. Louis definitely has the answer, with which you just mass horsemen and A move into him. Like, yes, like you might gonna lose a couple, but you're gonna push across with 4 or 5 of them. Quite a bit of map. So because I can't split these, like he can split up with 2 or 3 horsemen. I mean, he's not really splitting up in small groups. He's got them pretty decent sized groups, right? But he can, like, with impunity, like split this up if he wanted to into 3 groups and have them kind of raid around and do stuff. Versus me, if I do that with my Mangadai, and I get caught out by a group of horsemen, I'm not gonna have the DPS to really do anything besides just trade really ineffectively. So we're not getting anything done here. We're not denying these scouts. And yeah, just not good. So he's able to dive in on us here. Again, we noticed late, there's at least 2 extra horsemen here than they should be in terms of just raw damage, because we didn't do this appropriately, and we didn't even like micro this, like kill this horseman. I think I could have microed that a little bit cleaner here and actually forced some micro and done something there. So we bring back our units here. Now we're out of gold, and we have this gold here, which is okay. But he's getting some burn down value. And now the big thing is we're low on gold, but we're swamped in food, and so is he, right? We're both really heavy on food. Income per minute, you know, his is a little bit higher than ours because we're on deer and berries. I mean, I'm sorry, because he's on deer and we're on berries and sheep, which is, you know, okay. It's just part of the deal. But again, army value wise, he's got a much bigger army value, and that's because he's got the production buildings to pump. 5 stables. So our fault not committing to like basically enough production buildings to sustain here. We thought we were kind of like okay, that he wasn't really going to commit super hard here. And it is really the opposite of that. He really doubled down and just kept up to the stable production. And you can see what his army's at right now and kind of the pressure he puts on. And because look, he's got only 3 on wood. And you guys know when I play, I usually like to keep around this stage of the game. I'm like on 7 on wood. And I'm trying to macro trade and do stuff behind that. But if your opponent does commit into Mangadai and delayed stables as late as I did, this is definitely the best response. Is you just like finish your pro scout and go 5 stables. It's a really great play by him, and he does a really good job picking apart. And it wasn't so much, and part of it is me like getting picked apart because of his APM and stuff. Part of it, but most of it's not even like that. It's that I just don't have the army to deal with it. Like right now, I'm setting this army forward to go position a little bit and try to get like anything in terms of counter raid, but I can't actually do anything. I'm trying to build towers over here, and wherever my army goes, there's 2 other armies coming in, right? So this is the big advantage that he has with this multiple thing. And look, we got 1,600 food right now, and I can't pump horsemen fast enough because I got 1 stable, right? And a range which I can't use because I don't got gold access now. So you see we're in this really big bottleneck on production, and my army anytime is going to react to anything, and I can't split my army. I could probably split it now because I got 7 Keshiks, But even then, like 7 Keshiks, probably could deal with that. I could send my so I probably could have split this into 2 groups. But he did have 3, and at this point we're down some villagers, and I mean maybe overall we're still kind of in a decent spot in terms of like if we don't lose any more villagers, we could be like an okay spot. But the big difference is the army value. To trade this efficiently into this army is going to be an issue. So we catch one of the raids here. We kind of knew his raid was going to start pushing in, but again, this is the issue, right? There's a ton of cav here. He can commit 15, 16 units to a raid here, and while I was pushing these guys over here, he, you know, pushes on the other side. We do try to do a little bit of micro here to defend this tower, which is okay. But again, like kind of like we were saying before, we probably should have split up our army here and separated our Keshiks from our Mangudai and kind of used them to pepper and harass back here. Destroyed value wise, you can see we're ahead. Even though we've lost some villagers, we're big ahead on destroyed value, but it doesn't matter if you have tons of destroyed value, and it's like you're getting really good value in that regards. If you can't really make enough of a switch on it, or like if it's not enough to be a momentum switch, right? So he's got that. He's pulling on bears. He's finishing up his deer. So that's basically the big push. But he's now ready to go castle right behind this, and he's happy with this. I knew he was in the back here somewhere, and I stopped looking. I was like, where did this guy go? I thought he was going to cut a corner or something, and he just sat in the corner. So good move on him to realize, and oh my god, good move on him to realize, hey, like I'm going to look for the cutoff, and if I sit in the corner, he's not going to, he's better, there's a good chance he won't even see me. So he's transitioning. We were kind of looking to go to Castle 2 now, and this is on the back of that we actually have ecotechs, right? Because we have ecotechs where our ecos are even like somewhat comparable right now. If we like look at us, hopefully we don't have too many idols, but we have 464 food, 21 villagers on food, 250 wood per minute, about the same, and 390 gold per minute. And so yeah, we're about the same split except for the food split. There's a big difference in the food split. So the deers are helping him quite a bit. And I think I have a lot of villages that were going idle on my food. So we're just pushing forward, and we can't, I don't want to commit in any one direction. So I was trying to get a little bit of some damage here and then pushing back. But again, this is a little bit of an issue, right? He's gonna look. We're trying to like find a fight because I know he's going like probably castle behind this, and he's like trying to avoid a fight. And since we're cav, we're technically equal speed, except I have Mangudai mixed in, so my armor is actually slower. So this is the one thing that comes back to kind of haunt me pretty, to bite me in the butt here, because I can do a little bit of stuff here, but I can't like do a ton. So we can do a little bit of damage, but he's just going to basically back out. And we're going to get another nice little raid coming back. We don't see this yet. We're happy we're getting a little bit of damage, but again, it's not great damage. And we noticed here, and I didn't think he would fully commit to a dive. I guess good on him to count that bluff. And he's got his veteran Keshiks out. And yeah, so this is kind of where, like, I was chasing all this army off, not able to do much, and it puts us in a weird spot. And again, floating a ton of resources because I'm kind of in this weird limbo where I can't spend my resources because I refuse to drop more than just 2 stables. And you can see our opponent, because he has map control, is out on berries, still pro scouting, so he is chilling. And since we weren't able to establish early map control because we got pushed back by a couple of horsemen, we weren't able to really set up on our own deer and our own board and that type of stuff. A little bit of a mess up here. And I probably could have boxed in and closed that in there. I needed to garrison here a little bit sooner. It's okay though. So you can see we're getting great destroyed value. We're at 7k destroyed value, which is, I'm getting a lot of money. But if you're overly idle and if it's not enough to fully flip the script, that's what the issue is. You can see like our army value is about, you know, it's in my favor, but the issue is, yeah, you know, he's on a different age up level. So we're going step reader on the back because we need some sort of economy here. Kurotai sets up. We couldn't prevent the Kurotai setting up. I probably could have pulled these villas a little bit sooner. And I probably could have garrisoned some of these villas too. And while we go castle, he dives, and that's just kind of the way things go. And then you can see here, this is actually, it was close to being an okay trade for us. And then again, the big issue I think is just that we were on 2 stables here at this point in the game. Because if we had been able to transition and drop a bunch of stables and crank out some cav here, we take this fight a little bit better, we hold a little bit better. And you can kind of see how, like, I mean, the Kurotai and the Kashik are able to get a lot of sustain here, but he takes quite a bit of damage in terms of the trade, but it's not enough to compensate the idle ego, right? So at this point, game's basically over, and we'll just zoom it forward a little bit and we tap out here. There's not really anything that could be done here, so cool. So I think that one really showcased, like, if you don't especially against versus like lower level players or more like people my level and stuff, there's a lot more where I can like just make manga die and I can pressure there, and then I can kind of rotate and do what I want, and that's because I can pick good fights that I want to pick. But then when you play against some of these guys like Louis, you're not picking those fights that you want to pick always, right? And if anything, he's kind of pushing you back and keeping the pressure on you. And you can see, because he went double stables and masked those horsemen and got that kind of a jump on me and decent trade early, he's able to really push me back, and I don't counter react, and I don't react appropriately either. And so he was able to really just kind of take some good advantage of that. And so this is our next one against Louis here, and it was same night, just like I think a game or two later. And so we're a little bit warmer, so we're hoping again play a little bit better, but against China was like even harder, because China's I think much better civ than Mongols is. But we'd give it a go, and think I do play maybe a little bit cleaner, but again not the best. And China's eco is no joke. I think I vary in this build. I think this game I opened stables first, which can be kind of good but not great at the same time. So our spawn here, not ideal, but we do have a kind of safe gold. Ooh is kind of far, and he's got a really good spawn. I think back gold, kind of back wood lines. So I think he's pretty happy here with what he's got. Our sheep haul is pretty bad. Not great. But it just kind of is what it is. And he goes up really quickly, just China things. And our timing is decent. And again, we go with Keshik here, which I don't think is perhaps the best move against China. I mean, I guess neither is like Mangadai at times, but the plus side of Mangadai is I can get here and I can pick on this line without having to dive. Versus with Keshik, I have to dive, and Chinese TCs do hurt pretty good. So that's kind of the difference, I guess. So he's gonna get his pro scouts out here shortly. Got his stable up, and our first Keshiks are still kind of on the way across here. And now he's running across to go. Oh no, he's just keeping the heads up. Again, nice tight little base. Hard to get damage, and you can see how he's always watching. He's always reacting to any push that we would do. He does a really good job. You can really, it's hard to find windows to like that. You think there's windows where you think you're like coming up sneaky on them. You're gonna get this nice little raid. And it's not at all what happens. So I'm moving these guys back because I'm worried that he's already got scouts out and about. But really, because he drops barracks and because he dropped that like stable and stuff, I should have seen better with my with my vision that no, actually he's not pro. He's setting up to pro scout, but he hasn't started pro scouting yet. So it's my fault actually by not taking a little bit more advantage to put a little bit more pressure here where we could. Though we can't really put a lot of pressure because it's all under his TC, right? I do try to bring my Keshikir to do some damage here. And nothing. Now behind this, we do a little bit of a better job because we transition into double archery range. The issue being, I think, is that versus China, if you haven't harassed them in this first 7 minutes, like hit them somehow, caused idle time more than just like diving in and out, you haven't been doing enough damage to their eco, because idle time is actually a big indirect, even more so than China versus, or it affects China more than it does a normal set because now the IO is offline, right? He's only making taxes when people are dropping off resources, so we'll go back to our vision here. And again, I'm just playing really kind of passively. I got an extra scout. This scout should be kind of checking out like over here and seeing kind of what's going on. And we don't really do that. And you see with our really far back position, Keshik spread out all over the place. You know, we were so focused on trying to deny this play kind of everywhere that we let it happen in one spot. Not great that losing that one guy. But we do have Mangadite production out and about. So we are trying to get these fights here. But we just have to be careful, right? And we can't push forward because we got only a couple Mangadite of damage right now, which is a little bit, but it's not great. And he's just rallying these Spearmen across to push us, and we need to really be pushing here. The plus side, I think, in this game is that we do transition nicely and keep this kind of active and going. But I do think maybe my 7 on wood maybe is a little heavy. And we do have a little bit of a lull here and lose a couple villager production because we rotated to deer a little bit sloppy. So a little bit of a mistake on our part. Also, again, having that extra scout over here would have been a big deal just to be able to see this. This time, though, I think we do a better job of at least establishing some map control. Getting him back in his base. And, yeah, getting some vision and seeing kind of what we can do here. The scouts are still out and about. And he doesn't super invest into scouts. I do like his take with only a few scouts. Definitely probably easier for him to manage that way. And I'm okay with my villager split, but the issue is like he is growing because he's on song. Or no, he isn't on song. Oh, I had a huge idle time this game. That's right. Yeah, this deer pull, actually I had a big idle time because of that. So that's actually a really big deal here. Because I shouldn't be behind 9 villagers at this point, right? That's a little bit excessive. So yeah, sloppy play can lead to big things, big mistakes. If we look at our vision here too, I was looking for this boar forever and he's literally just on this little patch here. Okay, well, that might have helped me, but it wouldn't have changed, I think, the results here at all. And now he's got, yeah, mass horsemen out and about kind of pushing us because I'm not taking the fight to him and I can't really establish a good fight here. I should have stayed and burned this palisade probably a little bit more. Kind of my fault not doing that. And dropping more production here. Again, we saw a big army of like horsemen, which is like going to do quite well against us with our Mangada and stuff. But we also needed to like see. We're trying to find damage, but we're not actually like committing to finding damage, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm doing. Change menu snap. Switch to regular eye. I just don't want to lock in my vision. Oh, now we're on Louis' vision. I think it's C. Okay. Alright. So right now we're not harassing. We could be hitting this wood line. We could have stopped this tower going up on this gold. So you know my army is over here. It's just running around. It's not doing anything. I'm seeing he's picking like a deer from like a pack here and there. Right. It's very minimal. And we got a huge villager deficit at this point. This is not good. And we do catch like this castle coming up at this time. But we've got this big army not going anywhere. And we're pushing in here a little bit, but it's just like we can't actually do anything because there's tons of spearmen here. This fight had to go on earlier and deny his gold earlier. And in the meantime over here, yeah, he does a good job keeping those horsemen alive, but we don't, again, do much. Besides just kind of delay stuff here. And now he's going to be 10 villages up, Chinese eco. So that's a pretty big deal. And you can see how bad their damage is. So it's I always kind of find it funny when people say that, like, I don't know, Mangudai are OP or don't have any counters. Besides archers, you can go very aggressive with horsemen, and you can push down a lot more expensive armies with just some horsemen. So something to be taken away from it. So again, and I don't really commit to these big pushes. I'm just being really passive on my aggro, which is pretty bad actually. Again, it's really important that you get damage in. So we're getting our step readout going. He's still picking pro scouts here. It's been kind of a pain finding them. We find some over here. Okay, he gets over to here. We do have an army back here. And I thought I saw a scout here, so the scout headed back, so unfortunately that we lose track of that. At the same time, he gets over onto our deer, which we didn't tower. We didn't. Last game we overinvested into towers when we played him, and this time we underinvested into towers. So little details, you know, which equal, you know, 4 villager kills. Without those 4 villager kills, I got, you know, 9 villagers here, ready to finish up this deer and stuff like that. So important little details, and we and we get greedy, and we try to go double. Market here with the step readout going, and I wanted to do like sneaky trade, but he just puts the pedal to the metal, and he's got an improved stable here and another stable, and I was like shocked at how quickly he was cranking out his guys. And again, you can see my armies trying to get damage in, but then I'm pulling back to defend because I'm getting hit. So that's one big thing, especially with higher level games. It's like you have to be, if you're not attacking, you're defending, and like it's a constant back and forth. And anywhere, if you're not like if you're not forcing his army to go back to defend, like he's forcing your army to go back to defend. So you see, we finally get here, but it's just my Mangudai ball, unfortunately. So I'm gonna end up losing, I think, like all of those guys. On top of the fact I'm already way behind on villagers from idle and stuff like that too. So brutal game. And yeah, spearmen come in, and we're just gonna trade out our army here and just live with it. But yeah, we kind of knew at this point there's not much you can do. Age up, and we're age up, and we're like upgraded our Keshiks, but our Mangudai are still really weak. We don't have any towers here in our main base. And he caught us being kind of greedy here. And I do want to show, oh, I guess I want to check on that game, just my Vil graph. I'm pretty sure I had some idle time on my villager count. Yeah, so we had some big idle time, which is not, I mean, that didn't help at all. But so that's kind of what I meant by the start of the video, that we didn't have a great showing at all. Played really, really bad. Worse than we normally do, but it was fun. It's always fun to play these guys, and it's cool to see, like, yeah, if I had played better in these certain aspects, where could this game have been more competitive? So it's always kind of cool to go back and look at those and see what you can get from them. It's even more better and more useful when you can actually play at what you think is more your level or like closer to what your best is, and then you can kind of really analyze like what your little mistakes are, little details. But so yeah, there was a lot of big mistakes, so it's pretty easy to analyze what the issues were in this game. Nevertheless, it's always nice to kind of check them out and make those notes. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I will see you all on the next one.